Hello and welcome back to the ABCs of Real Estate. I'm Sarah Taylor with Realty One Group Mountain Desert in Flagstaff, Arizona. Today we're moving on to the letter X, and I'd like to talk about home inspectors. A lot of people expect them to have X-ray vision, but there's a lot of things that can't be visualized during your typical home inspection. And I wanted to briefly go over that with you so you have a list of questions that you can ask of your home inspector to find out what they can and cannot visualize during their typical home inspection. There's some things you might not think about. Those are called patent versus latent defects. And so the really obvious ones are patent defects. You can see right away if the foundation's cracked or if the roof needs replacement due to some, shingles that have been pulled and ripped off or those sorts of things. But let's also talk about these latent defects. Those are things that can't easily be visualized. For example, a home inspector cannot see through drywall into the walls to see how electrical and plumbing looks. They can crawl up into the attic, but they might not be able to see all the ceiling and floorboards and different things due to the insulation that's in place. If they crawl underneath the crawl space, they might not be able to visualize the subfloor due to the same thing, the vapor barriers and the insulation that's in place. I know one of my home inspectors will run the water through the house first before he crawls under the crawl space so he can see if there's any active leaks, where you wouldn't see that if you ran the water after you were already under there. There's also a lot of other things that aren't included in an average home inspection. You'd want to refer to your realtor and your buyer advisory and see if any of these other inspections are important to you. There are separate inspections for radon, which is an odorless gas. There is separate testing for mold or mildew or asbestos. Those aren't typically covered. And then also for pests and termites, that's a separate inspection as well. So be sure to refer to your buyer advisory to see what it is that's important to you. Some other things I might mention is your home inspector is not a moving company. They are not at liberty to move an owner's possessions out of the way. For example, I know I have a lot of cleaning supplies underneath my kitchen sink. And so if he were to come inspect my home, he or she might not be able to see if there are any past or present water leaks because they won't be able to visualize the staining on the cabinet floor. Another example would be if the unit has a tile floor, but there's a large area rug with furniture on it in the living room, you won't be able to visualize if there are any tile cracks underneath that area rug. Home inspectors are not in the practice of moving everyone's personal belongings. The same thing might apply if the homeowner's getting ready to move out and have boxed and stored all the items in the garage or in front of the water heater furnace closet. The home inspector might not be able to access that closet to look at the data plate on the water heater to obtain the age of the unit, to let you know how soon you might need to replace that unit, and various things like that. So no, your home inspector does not have X-ray vision, but they can provide you a lot of valuable information about routine maintenance and repair concerns within the home. I always recommend someone get a home inspection of their own when purchasing a property. If you have questions about this or more, please give a call, 928-607-3015.